Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
You've got to put a little bit of fairy dust over the bastard, look at,
Oh, we'll put some fairy dust.
Britain, an ancient kingdom with legends of violence, cruelty, and torment in its blood. Join your hosts, Ross, John, and James, as they bravely tread where few would dare. Witness their journey into the horrific history of British horror. They are the General Witchfinders.
Then, okay, ladies and gentlemen, goblins and ghouls, welcome back to the 68th episode.
Have we still not got to 70?
No, we slowed.
Fucking hell, Christ.
We slowed down a little bit.
Exactly, the 68th episode of the General Witchfinders podcast. I'm James in Bournemouth in southern England.
I'm John Pountney. I'm here alive, and I'm in South Wales, which is still, last time I looked, very much in the south of Wales.
I'm Ross in Dorchester in southern England, and this time we felt the Medusa Touch.
In ancient legend, Medusa was one of the 3 Gorgon monsters created to do battle with the gods. Anyone looking into the eyes of Medusa was instantly turned to stone.
I have a gift for disaster.
You seem to have survived it.
I don't mean for me. I mean for others.
He was found in his flat last night.
Dead?
Not quite, but he had been badly assaulted.
But I assume he'll be all right then?
He will never be all right again.
I did not set fire to my school. I did not touch the brakes of my father's car.
Therefore?
Therefore, there must be something else.
And was there something else?
What else could there be?
I made it happen.
But you couldn't cause an accident miles away.
I made that accident happen. If you say coincidence to me, I will drive my fist through your face.
Somewhere deep within what's left of that brain, something is going on. It's grown stronger almost every hour.
You know more about that brain than anyone. What is going on?
I don't know.
I made that school burn. The children, all of them. What am I? How can I will death?
Could any of the other incidents Morlar felt responsible for be called disasters?
Well, yes, one of them could be described that way.
Were there any deaths involved?
Yes.
Lovely.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the
Medusa
Touch.
Touch.
Yeah,
Yes.
which, when Rowan came down into the lounge and saw the DVD case, she goes, well, why is it the Medusa Touch? Because it should be the Medusa Gaze, because nothing happens from the Medusa Touch.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's correct.
Or the touch of Medusa. Now you say the Medusa Touch, it doesn't, or the Medusa's Touch.
No, it's just the Medusa Touch.
We should go back in time to the year of my birth and complain, shouldn't we?
Right. Here we go then. So, The Medusa Touch is a 1978 supernatural horror thriller film directed and produced by Jack Gold, adapted by John Briley, the screenwriter of Gandhi, no less, from the 1973 novel by Peter Van Greenaway, not Peter Greenaway.
Peter Van Greenaway.
They're two very different people.
Like John Van Pountney.
Exactly.
Not the John Pountney.
And we'll get on to talking about this in due course, but it does feel like a novel. In many ways, it feels like a novel. Anyway, this was one of several of his books which featured English Scotland Yard detective Inspector Cherry, written by Greenaway, but the protagonist did not appear in this movie.
Oh.
Instead, the lead was, of course, the Detective Inspector Brunel.
Yeah.
Most likely because it was a co-production between the United Kingdom and France.
Yes.
We're on that in a bit.
I did think until he said that he was Italian.
Mm.
And I was like, is this an Italian co-production? And then he was like, I am French. And I was like, you fucking what?
Yeah, come on to it. He actually was. Yeah. Wait a second.
Yeah. All right. Okay. A sample from the film, Richard Burton's line,
yes,
I will bring the whole edifice down upon their unworthy heads, was used in the Manic Street Preachers' 1998 song, Ready for Drowning, from the album This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours.
Yes.
I will bring the whole edifice down on their unworthy heads.
Pop fans.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the follow-up to Everything Must Go, of course.
Yes, of course.
For the 90s heads out there. Burton stars as John Morlar, although he only works for 3 weeks after demanding $500,000 up front. And he was, as I've read, he then went on to, what a year for him. He then, after he finished filming this, immediately went to film The Wild Geese.
I was going to say, this must be around the time of The Wild Geese.
Yes,
he's
correct.
walking around like he's got a plank down his back. Because he had awful problems with his back because of his alcoholism. But I was like, this must be around the time of The Wild Geese. 3 weeks on set, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's never outside, is he? He's only ever on a soundstage in a set.
Yes, correct.
Amazing.
Because of this, the role was kept heavily bandaged in a hospital bed. As
someone else as well, I think, at a certain time.
Primarily to hide the fact that a stand-in was being used instead of the star. In reality, he only appeared for a single close-up of his eyes.
Yeah.
Now, let's start off, Ross has put, with a little Burton quiz for John.
Oh, God.
Sorry, John. Number 1, what was his real name?
Richard Jenkins.
Yes, Richard Walker Jenkins. He took the surname Burton from his schoolmaster and guardian, Philip Burton.
Philip Burton.
Yes, as outlined as well in the amazing play, we'll probably talk about it again, The Motive and the Cue, which I say everyone should watch. It's incredible. Number 2, how many times was he nominated for an Oscar?
He was nominated for The Robe, I think. Maybe the one with Liz Taylor.
Cleopatra?
No, no, the other one where they're...
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Yeah, is it that one? So I'd say 3 times.
The answer was 7 times. He was nominated 7 times. So, next question, Jeff.
Wow.
And the next question is, how many times did he win?
None, I don't think. He was given like an honorary one, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He'd none for many years. Burton and his close friend and fellow Hellraiser, Peter O'Toole, were rivals for the record of most acting nominations without a win. While Burton stayed at 7, O'Toole eventually reached 8 losses, his final loss being for the 2006 film Venus. The pair famously bonded during the film of Beckett, where O'Toole noted they drank not just to get drunk, but to get somewhere else. So the films he was nominated for was My Cousin Rachel, The Robe, Beckett, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Anne of a Thousand Days, and Equus.
Oh,
Equus! Yeah, Equus, brilliant.
Which ties into this film. Number 5. Where was he born, John?
Well, he was born in Pontrydyfen, in his house.
That's correct.
Lovely.
Pontrydyfen in Glamorgan, Wales.
Yes, and I've been to the house. I've visited the house, and when I went there in 2012, it's right under the viaduct, which he was famously photographed on, which I recreated with Matthew Rhys and Michael Sheen, and the house is right underneath. And when I went there in 2012, it was a deaf couple that owned it. They were both deaf. And I was talking to them and they couldn't communicate with me. And I was thinking, what the hell is going on? And then they made me realize that they were deaf. But they invited me into the porch and they've got a load of Burton memorabilia in their porch.
Oh, nice.
And they were really lovely people and they were super pleased to meet me. And they posed for a picture and it was fantastic. I don't know if they still live there, but they were really lovely people, and that was quite a magical, strange South Walian interlude, which is what you always get in South Wales. Nothing is ever quite what you expect.
In South Wales.
He said he was the 12th of 13 children born to a miner. Remarkably, fellow stars Ray Millard, Anthony Hopkins, and Catherine Zeta-Jones were all born within 10 miles radius of the same area.
Yes, but you've also got Rebecca Evans, world famous soprano who won a Grammy, who I photographed last week for the WNO, who is appearing tonight in Blaze of Glory. You've got Sheen, obviously, who I think was born in Newport, but it is from Port Talbot. And you've also got from Pontry de Ben itself, Ivan Novello, who the Ivan Novello Awards are named after.
Yes.
All born in that area, which is, if you went there, you'd be like, what on earth?
Yeah.
Because it is a tiny village with a few aqueducts, a viaduct or train. I'm not sure.
The Fertile Crescent.
Yeah.
It's bonkers when you go there. It is so quiet. You could hear a pin drop in some parts of the village. Yeah, just wild. Fantastic. And it's a very magical place. And I was talking to Rebecca Evans about this last week, and she met Burton many times as a child because he would come back to the village really often with his different wives. And she met him with the wife that I think had been James Hunt's wife, who Burton stole her off James Hunt, basically.
She's got a type.
Yes.
That woman,
basically rich playboys.
I was about to say Hellraisers.
Yes. And Rebecca Evans said that her mother, I think it was, had a shop in the village. And every time she knew Burton was coming back, she would buy in a load of Swiss chocolate. And he was obsessed with it, and he would buy the whole lot there and then.
Whoa.
And she'd make loads of money on it.
Right.
There you are.
Good Burton facts.
Those are my Burton facts so far.
Nice. Okay, and then the final question in the quiz is... this is the last one, John.
Yeah.
How many times was he married?
Oh, well, he's married to Taylor twice.
Mm-hmm.
He had his first wife, whose name I can't remember. It was something like Muriel. 1, 2. I'd say he was married 5 times.
Correct. He was married 5 times to 4 different women. Sybil Williams, Elizabeth...
Sybil, not Muriel.
Elizabeth Taylor twice, Susie Miller, and Sally Hay.
So Sally is the one that everyone was like, what on earth? Because she basically had him buried in Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And didn't bring the body back
to... The love
to
of Swiss chocolate.
Wales. No, he went there to a clinic for his alcoholism and then died of a hemorrhage or something. Mm-hmm. But she wouldn't pay to bring his body back to Wales to be buried in Wales, in Pontry de Ben, something to do with not paying taxes.
I think we need to go and get the body, John. That's our movie.
I tell you what we need to do is get Justin Lee Collins back to do that with us.
Yeah. He's back on Twitter, by the way.
We're going to get Richard Burton back together.
Yeah.
And just...
He
is. And he's not making any acknowledgement of his past misdemeanors. He's just like talking about like, oh, here's what I'm watching on TV. Isn't it great? Or I've just watched this film. I'm really enjoying it. Very strange.
Can you imagine how he feels, even though he's a massive bellend, looking at the trajectory that Alan Carr has had, thinking that could have been me. Alan Carr has literally bought a castle and he's still like, I don't know.
I always remember that just... We don't want to already, because this podcast is going to be a long one anyway. I'll warn you now, dear listener. You might want to break this one up into chunks. But I always remember from the Justin Lee Collins trial that
that was one of his pilot series.
That when he was on trial, apparently a group of school children were being given a tour of the local courts and basically say, look, here's how courts work. And they had to leave because all of the descriptions of his dreadful domestic abuse was so upsetting.
That's not a laughing matter.
That's a low point, isn't it? When kids have to leave the court because you're so dreadful. Anyway.
A truly horrible man, awful human being, and doesn't deserve to... Why are you laughing,
I'm just laughing at some of the things he said.
You gambled my life
with multiple partners.
There's a part of it here. There's a whole part of it.
Here he is holding his autobiography called Good Times.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
not now.
Dear.
Sad times.
Now, you twat.
And
what
sad times.
Absolute twat.
He is a dreadful man.
2016. So he basically hasn't had a career for 10 years. Good.
He rocked up on some weird internet-only radio station for a while. Which
it wasn't Noel Edmonds' radio station for dogs, was it?
It was similar, Ross.
It's
called a similar thing.
Fubar Radio.
That's it. That's it, John. Yeah, Fubar Radio.
What a horrible man.
His career is fucked up beyond all recognition.
No reason.
Okay, let's get back on track, guys.
Okay, back.
What a horrible man.
Let's move away from JLC.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, following his early success in the UK, Burton moved to Hollywood after turning down the role of Mark Antony in Julius Caesar, a part that went to Marlon Brando instead.
Oh.
Burton instead starred alongside James Mason in The Desert Rats and played Marcellus Gallio in the biblical epic The Robe.
Brilliant.
As just mentioned.
Yes.
As the first film shot in CinemaScope, it served as the forerunner for Ben-Hur. Off the back of its success, he was offered a $1 million contract, which Ross tells us it was worth $12,124,060 in 2026.
Big
so
smackers.
a lovely, lovely payday.
Yeah.
He initially rejected this to honour a £150 a week commitment to play Hamlet at the Old Vic.
What a fucking legend.
Eventually signing only after legal threats and a guarantee of professional flexibility. An ardent admirer of Dylan Thomas since boyhood, Burton wrote an essay on the poet following his death in 1953. He then led an all-Welsh cast, all of whom worked free of charge in the 1954 BBC radio adaptation of Under Milk Wood.
To begin at the beginning. It is spring, moonless night in the small town, starless and Bible black, the cobbled streets silent and the hunched quarters and rabbits wood limping invisible down to the slow black, crow-black fishing boat bobbing sea. The houses are blind as moles, though moles see fine tonight in the snouting velvet dingles, or blind as Captain Cat there in the muffled middle by the pump and the town clock, the shops in mourning, the welfare hall in widow's weeds, and all the people of the lulled and dumbfound town are sleeping now.
And why I listen to it regularly is because Peter Blake listens to it while he's working. And he's about 95 now, and that's something he listens to regularly while he's working in his studio. It's phenomenal.
I've got it on vinyl here, and this is lots of this stuff is excuses for me to. These are all
I've got it on wax disc actually. Edison wax discs.
But this is all an excuse for me to put a lot of this stuff into the episode.
Into the recording
at the beginning. Under Milkwood, a play for voices.
Right, so it says Burton performed the role of first voice, later reprising it for the 1970s.
Which is mental. That's quite a horror film. There's a sex scene in it. With Burton, a woman, and one of Ryan and Ronnie, who were a Welsh double act, a bit like Morecambe and Wise. And one of them is in the film, and it's it's really painful to watch. And when I did the photos of Sian Phillips, she spoke to me at length about that film, and said that she tried to convince, because Peter O'Toole put money into it, her husband at the time, and she said, I tried to convince them not to make it because it wouldn't make any money, and lo and behold, it didn't make any money. So I thought that was really interesting.
In July 1961, Burton was asked to replace Stephen Boyd as Mark Antony in Cleopatra. Paid $250,000, which is $2.5 million. His off-screen affair with Elizabeth Taylor, which he sardonically nicknamed Le Scandale, generated such publicity that Life magazine called it the most talked about movie ever made.
Oh, wow.
Though he initially mocked Taylor, calling her Miss Tits, and joking, I expect she shaves. Everything changed during their first scene. But so that my Burton isn't very good. John does a better Burton than me.
What do you want me to say?
Miss Tits.
I expect she shaves. Oh,
yeah.
Well, we should have Matthew Rhys doing this because he did this.
Yes,
Miss Tits. No one would have dreamed that the beginning of the 19th century we were being scrutinized.
That gave me the shivers.
his voice is really weirdly right in the back, and it's really hard to do. And in this film, I tried to do a lot of his lines. The one I can do is broadsword calling Danny Boy from Where Eagles Dare, which is one of my favourites with him and Clint. But him and Liz Taylor. There's quite a long section in Mr. Burton, not Mr. Burton, Playing Burton, the play that WNT did last year, which is about him meeting Liz Taylor and this kind of thing that he's trying to get away from Sybil and he's trying to move in with Liz Taylor and stuff. Very fascinating. She basically taught him to, because he was very used to acting big because he was on the stage. But Liz Taylor taught him that it was all about like literally sometimes like moving your eyes or like a twitch of your face or something. And that's what he learned from her. And I found that really fascinating in the Matthew Rhys play.
Cool. So back to the story.
Yes.
Everything changed during the first scene for Burton and Taylor. Burton was so shaky that he forgot his line. Taylor soothed him. And she later recalled falling for him at that exact moment.
Wow.
Now, Cleopatra became a massive hit. Ross has got a lot of in today's money. That's all right.
It's just so much. Yeah. It's just the stage is just making so much money, and then ended up saying, "Give me 500,000 in cash up front." You know, it's just like where the fuck did it all go?
Legend. What a legend!
Expensive diamond rings and the pub, Ross. that's
and recarpeting her boat every week or something because she would let her dog shit on this boat. Right. And then every time he would just be like, Elizabeth. And then it would be, we'll get boat carpet.
So Cleopatra became a massive hit, grossing over $26 million, which Ross says is $273.5 million today.
Well, that's not bad, is it?
Not bad. The super couple, dubbed Liz and Dick, earned $88 million over the next decade. Burton later remarked that they generated more business than some small African nations and often outspent Aristotle Onassis. His contracts famously included a clause stating that he would never work on St. David's Day. And
I absolutely love him. I would have loved to have met him.
And he managed to record his parts for the iconic Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds in just 2 afternoon sessions between film projects. Who would believe last years of the 19th century, human affairs were being watched from the tiniest worlds of space.
Yeah.
So even you guys doing it just gives, we got to do that one day. We got to do an episode on that.
And yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes.
Slowly and surely. They drew their plans
against us.
When
brilliant. Yeah.
I had to drop off some photos of Pontry de Ven when they were doing last year in Margam in Port Talbot. They were doing the 100th anniversary concert for Burton for his birthday. And as I was walking in to the Orangery in Margam, because Margam Castle itself is burnt out, they had his voice like whacked up on the PA, and then they had a live orchestra coming in with that riff. I just nearly shit myself with excitement because I was just like, wow, this is fucking brilliant.
We should go and watch it. They do it at Albert Hall every so often.
Yeah.
But we'd turn up, it'd be the fucking Liam Neeson version.
I was about to say, now it's Liam Neeson.
No one wants Liam Neeson doing it, do they?
No, racist Liam Neeson.
Yeah, racist psychopath Liam Neeson. Yeah.
With fungal nail infection. Whenever you see him, whenever you see him film with him, close up in his hands, his nails are fucked, and you're like, ugh.
What on earth? The stuff you notice, Cleaver, is mental.
Right, okay. Right. So, right. Sorry. Just that thought.
Famously. famously flaunting corroded nails.
In Pamela Anderson's face in the naked gun. Maybe that's why their relationship didn't carry on.
Yeah. Oh,
anyway, right.
Really? Have they split up now?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
There's a bunch of wolves in the face with like
with fungal nails.
Yeah, fungal nails. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. So Burton was known for wearing built-up shoes throughout his life.
Yes.
In another interesting wardrobe factoid, playing Mark Antony in Cleopatra and Henry VIII in Anne of a Thousand Days meant that he shared these roles with the craggy comedy lech Sid James. James parodied the same characters in the carry-on version of both of these films, although actually wearing the very same costumes that Burton had used.
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? Wow. That's a good little fact. Right. Okay. So, but by 1970, his health had begun to fail. In 1974, the BBC recorded his Parkinson interview at 10 a.m. using a staff audience from the canteen, fearing that he would be drunk by the evening. Wow.
Is that the one where he does Olivier?
I'm not sure.
Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the son of York.
With an audience made up of people from
tea ladies,
and Grange Hill and Doctor Who.
Yes.
That same year, while filming The Klansman, he was so inebriated he could not stand. Many scenes were filmed with him sitting or lying down, and he later admitted he had no memory of the production.
He was with O.J. Simpson, apparently, filmed that with.
Oh, God almighty.
Whoa. There's a podcast, and we will to do that. There's lots we could talk about there. In April 1981, he dropped out of Camelot due to crippling back pain. Doctors found his spinal column coated in crystallized alcohol and had to delay a delicate, high-risk operation until he gained weight, as he was 3 stone underweight. Though his backbone was successfully rebuilt, he was diagnosed with cirrhosis and kidney disease that same year. Burton died from a brain hemorrhage on the 5th of August 1984 in Switzerland, just 58.
Just mad. Just think of all that life
crazy.
he fitted in.
Yeah.
Those years.
I think it's the same age as Sheen is now. Because when we did what's it called? Playing Burton, which was in November last year, Sheen said he was 57 at that point and Burton died at 58. And I think Michael has had his birthday since then. So yeah, it's like literally like 58 is no age at all now, is it? But it is tragic. It's awful and it's mental. I mean, what a legend, though. You can't kind of. It was terrible what happened to him, but also he was kind of untouchable as a Welsh ideal of like pissed.
Oh, just being the 12th son of a miner to earning £88 million.
Yeah.
And married to arguably the most attractive woman in the world at that time.
It's a very Welsh idea of just
pure charisma.
In this film, as soon as he comes on, you're just like, fuck, the star power. And then there is star power. Because for me in this film, there's a scene with him and Jeremy Brett, who is one of my other favourite actors as the best Sherlock Holmes. And I was just like, these two, fucking hell. Like, they could outact anyone just by a sense of charm and kind of just that thing that normal people can't really summon up out of anywhere. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yes.
Okay, so moving on from Burton. We said this one to go on for a...
Now it's the time for the 48,000 other character actors in this film.
Here we go. Yeah. Right. So
I recognise literally almost everyone in this film.
I had to miss loads of people out, unfortunately.
Okay.
I've got a few at the start, so we'll see if it crosses over.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously the main protagonist is played by Lino Ventura.
I don't know him.
He played Detective Inspector Brunel. He was born in Parma and raised in Paris. Ventura worked as a professional wrestler before an injury ended his career. After one of his 4 children was born with a disability.
Like Brian Glover.
Yes, absolutely like Brian Glover. And
that's enough.
I'll be Bobby Charlton. That's amazing. And of course the brilliant Pat Roach as well. Also, wrestling actor, who, once again, quick fact there, my dad said was one of the nicest men he ever met.
And also a great link to Indiana Jones, who was coming up.
Yes, indeed. Yes. For our listener, he is he appears several times in the first three Indiana Jones films, Pat Roach, in a stunt capacity, but he is most known as the bold Nazi who Indiana Jones fights and then goes into the propeller blades.
Yes.
In Raiders of the Lost Ark.
In the first one.
In Raiders. Yeah, that's the brilliant Pat Roach.
Yes.
Anyway, right, okay, back to this, sorry. After one of his 4 children was born with a disability, he and his wife founded the charity Pierce Neige, or Snowdrop, which aids disabled children and their parents. Very nice. That's nice. Though a lifelong resident and pop cultural icon in France, Ventura always considered himself Italian first and foremost.
No way!
And never took French citizenship.
Good God.
He was nonetheless voted 23rd in a 2005 poll of the 100 greatest Frenchmen.
No way! I had overwhelming Italian vibes from him. So that's why I was like, when he said he's French, I was like, there's no way this bloke is French. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. Who else have you got, James? Michael Byrne?
Okay, well, next up, we're not on, it says more on Ventura first.
Oh.
He is a rare example of a leading man being dubbed in one of the films we covered, rather than an attractive young actress for once, as he was voiced by David de Keyser. De Keyser also worked on 4 other occasions for the British director John Boorman, iconic John Boorman. He appeared on... absolutely Excalibur. And Zardoz.
Yeah.
There's another one for us to do one day, maybe, as a special. He appeared on screen in Catch Us If You Can in 1965 and Leo the Last in 1970. Boorman used de Keyser's rich voice, firstly as the voice of the Tabernacle in Zardoz. Yes. Watch this space for a review from us on 2026.
Yes, it's in the roster. It's in the roster.
And as the voice of the Grail in, as John says, Excalibur in 1981. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, other notable voice roles included the curse of Count Mateus in Vampire Circus. I see. He played the curse. Right, I see. And the dubbing of Dracula in The Legend of 7 Golden Vampires, which somehow we covered in episode 31.
And the deer for this podcast. Yeah. One of the most unwatchably awful films of all time.
That, along with, of course, our old favourite.
Extra.
What's it called? Extra.
Oh, my goodness.
Literally, the seeds of a nervous breakdown for me. Trying to get through that on a summer afternoon, thinking I could be sat in the garden and I'm watching this shit. A life-size action man killing fucking
Lou.
What's her name?
Lou Beals.
Christ.
I would never recommend watching it, but if you want to listen to that podcast, it's good value.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So he also provided the uncredited voice of the Warden in the 1978 Superman movie. I'm assuming when Lex Luthor breaks out.
Yeah, when they're trapped in the cellophane, is it?
Not sure. No, in the prison.
The Warden. The prison Warden. Lex Luthor,
but isn't there a voice when they're like trapped in the cellophane?
Keep going, Gene.
Right, and the Colonel of the Battle Control Room in Flash Gordon in 1980.
No way.
My goodness, yes. Go and listen to our mammoth double-length episode on that from the end of last year. That's episode 63A and B. Some quick side note, I've had friends of mine recently point out how much they enjoyed the Flash Gordon episode because they said they could tell how much we were loving it. And I said 100% correct. Right. Okay, so for Doctor Who, he was the voice of the Atraxi.
Is that modern Doctor Who?
Yes.
The big crystal spaceship with the organic eye looking for Prisoner Zero in Matt Smith's first episode.
Yes, I remember.
Okay. Right. And then Lee Remick plays Dr. Zonfield. Yes, really, a woman doctor. And Ross has put that because all the way through this film, people are astonished that there's a female doctor.
It's a bit like...
Several times they mention it.
Moonraker from the year after, isn't it? When Roger Moore turns up and it's... I can't think of her name now, but he's like, I expected...
Dr. Fuckpants or something like that.
Not Holly Goodhead. Is she Holly Goodhead or is that another
Doctor Good? I expected a woman. A man, rather. I expected a man, but I'm glad it's a woman.
So we have seen Lee in episode 13 where we watched The Omen. Again, a favourite of ours when we did this, which he filmed 2 years previously. And once again, this is absolutely in the Venn diagram of these. It's absolutely dead set in the centre of this. It's very Omen adjacent. In 1962, Lee, who was with 20th Century Fox, briefly replaced the excessively tardy Marilyn Monroe on Something's Got to Give. Wow.
Oh, no way.
Lee never got past a few wardrobe fittings as Dean Martin, the film's co-star, refused to work with anyone but Marilyn and threatened to quit. Absolutely.
He probably couldn't see who it was anyway, could he?
As a result...
I'm only going to work with Marilyn today.
As a result, Marilyn was brought back, although the project was eventually scrapped. Harry Andrews plays the assistant commissioner. It was said that he was in so many films that the film critic Barry Took remarked that if ever he saw a British film that Andrews wasn't in, he began to worry because I realised he must have been ill. After his death, that's after his time on presenting Points of View, of course, Barry Took. After his death, one obituary noted that his death has given casting directors all over the world an insoluble problem. His filmography includes Hawk the Slayer, Superman. He was the second elder on Krypton.
Yeah, I can see him. Yeah.
One of the I wish I would have been one of those guys.
Yeah.
Watership Down and Theatre of Blood.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we get to see, as John has mentioned, we get to see Jeremy Brett in this film. And Jeremy Brett plays Edward Parrish. Ross has put the man, but I will say the fop.
Oh, he's very foppish.
He's an extreme fop.
Actor, isn't he?
Yes. For whom Richard Burton's wife, played by Academy Award nominee Marie-Christine Barrault, leaves him. Despite this role, Brett remains best remembered for his critically acclaimed portrayal of Sherlock Holmes for Granada.
Best TV show of all time. Probably better than Doctor Who.
All right, okay. So his path to the stage was shaped by his privileged education at Eton College, though his father considered acting a dubious profession and forbade him from using the family name, Huggins. Consequently, Jeremy took his stage name from the label of his first suit, Brett & Co.
No way!
Yeah. Brett was briefly considered for the role of James Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yes.
And later auditioned for Live and Let Die. As a left-handed actor playing a right-handed Holmes, a hand double was used for close-up shots of the detective writing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who would bother? Who would worry about...
Oh, come on. We know about the internet. Yeah. Nerds are all over this stuff, aren't they? That's right. His legacy in British acting also extended to his family, as he was the uncle of Martin Clunes.
Good God, was he really?
Martin Clunes, now, the actor du jour.
Yeah.
Because he is in...
Hugh Edwards.
Because, yes, he's been Hugh Edwards recently, and he's also been in that recent remake of Wuthering Heights.
Was he in that?
Yes, and everyone says he's the best thing in it. My parents said he was the best. Well, I say people. My parents went to see it.
But your parents are people.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
And they said Clunes was fantastic, and I've read that in other places.
Can I tell you a thoroughly insane interlude in my life?
Yes.
That I don't think I've told you about before.
Is it Clunes related?
It is Clunes related, and
I'm ready.
But I don't think you can put it in the... you can put the start in.
Okay.
So basically, James, I can't remember if you came to this show, but Ross, you came to this show in the chapel in Abertryda.
Yes.
James, did you come to this?
Yeah, he came the night before.
Yes. So, as part of that exhibition, I was working in a place at the top of the mountain here called Eglwys Ilan, which means Church of Saint Ilan in Welsh. Eglwys is church. So, as part of that project, I was driving over the mountain one day past that church, which is one of my favourite places in the world. And I saw loads of trucks thinking they're filming there. What the fuck is going on, basically? As I drove past, I saw my friend stop the car and got out. And I was like, what on earth are you doing here? There was a scene obviously being filmed in the cemetery. So I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, we're making a drama with Martin Clunes.
Oh.
And Martin Clunes was in that cemetery in funeral wear. So they were basically filming a funeral. And it was a drama. It was a drama about drug dealing in South Wales, like county line stuff. Me and Hel still haven't watched it, but I really do want to see it.
I've seen it advertised, yeah.
I really want to see it for that scene, because it would be amazing to see Eglwys Ulan on TV, because it is literally like one of the most remote places going. But basically, the story that you probably can't put in, Martin Clunes has to threaten someone with like a fake gun.
Yeah.
Apparently he's just gone like mental. Whoa. Like, why has he gone so wild in this scene? They loved him. They thought he was incredible, because he's just like the most chilled out guy.
Man behaving badly, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. But so that was mental to see. But that's my little Martin Clunes trivia.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's
very,
pretty
very good, isn't it?
I will just say very quickly, for the benefit of our foreign listener, if you're listening, it's worth pointing out that Martin Clunes, for us, he was best known for so long for appearing in the sitcom Men Behaving Badly.
Yes.
Which was a cultural juggernaut in the 1990s of him and Neil Morrissey just being drunken idiots.
Yes.
And people loved it. So it's a bit like saying, I can't think of like an American comparison, really. But it's a bit like saying, imagine one of the cast of Cheers suddenly getting into like straight act. But then again, Ted Danson.
Yeah.
Ted Danson kind of went to, but not to this extent.
No.
But it's been very strange
it wasn't
to see
a fair
him kind
reflection
of
of his talent at all, was it? I don't know.
No,
whereas Neil Morrissey bought loads of Larn where Dylan Thomas set under Milk Wood, and then basically went bust and lost it all. And he bought Browns in Larn and went bust, and then I think he had to basically restart his career again from scratch, because he'd earned all this money and then tried to put it into hospitality, and then
yeah, I remember him opening some pubs.
Yes, well, yeah, that they were in Wales, but he basically pissed it all up the wall, and then it went very pear-shaped for him.
Wow.
So yeah, he's now in the same level as Justin Lee Collins.
He's on Fubar Radio with Justin Lee Collins.
Right. Okay. So we're almost there. We've only got a paragraph and a half to go.
Well, I have a few to point out.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes.
Okay. So Ross has put Gordon Jackson plays Dr. Johnson.
Yes.
Probably, definitely most famous for his part of George Cowley in The Professionals. He is the only actor to appear in both the Quatermass Experiment, TV version in 1953, and the Quatermass Experiment, Hammer version in 1955.
No
and
way.
we've reviewed the Hammer versions.
Yes.
Go and seek them out.
Yeah.
He and Kenneth Williams co-wrote Ma Crêpe Suzette, a comedy song in which Williams sings random unrelated French words and phrases in a suggestive fake French accent to the tune of Old Lang Syne.
En histoire qui mal y pense, faites vos jeux reconnaissance. Hammersmith Palais des danses, badinage ma crêpe Suzette, du blanc tendre restaurant de Jacques Cousteau, Yves de Rente, où aille la plume des matantes. C'est la vie, ma crêpe Suzette. Citron, Mirage, Carvel, hors d'oeuvre, Brut et Chanel. Chaise longe, sachet d'Estelle, fuselage, ma crêpe Suzette, pince-nez, bidet, commissionnaire, mon repos, Brigitte Bardot, je sens frontière. C'est nog can you? The French, I mean, Faut pas Grand Prix espionnage, gruyère, camembert, fromage, mayonnaise, all night, garage, RSVP, ma crêpe
Gordon Jackson was involved in that. That's mad. Williams performed it live on TV the night after he and Jackson had written it. Apparently, he was considered for the cameo role of Dr. Armstrong in Life Force.
Oh,
now,
God.
Ross has put, someone must be putting these into IMDb so that we mention it. If you are, bravo, and you've got too much time on your hands. But now, and Ross has put, now the birds are singing outside and a new day is dawning and we will never get the episode finished if we don't start the plot rehash part of the podcast. But before we move on, we should probably mention that all of the other notable cast members in this film. And we should point out that Gordon Jackson, Robert Lang, Francis Tomelty, Norman Bird, James Hazeldine, and Malcolm Turney have all, at one point in their illustrious careers, appeared in ITV's primetime classic, Boom! Right, brilliant. I can turn the script off now.
A couple I noticed. Shaw Taylor at the start. From
Yes.
What was it called?
Police 5.
Police 5. Keep them peeled.
Yeah.
So he was in there. Then
We'll
there's
explain
Michael,
that to the listener in a minute.
Yes. Then there's Michael Byrne, who is the other main policeman who assists the French policeman. He's in... he just basically plays Nazis.
Mm-hmm. I was at Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
And in The Eagle Has Landed. So he's also a Nazi in that. So he's double Nazi. Then there's, at the start, there's Stanley Labor, who I think is the doctor right at the start, who warns Michael Byrne not to look at the body and says, it'll spoil your breakfast. He is Harold.
Yes, he is.
As from Harold and Hilda fame in Ever Decreasing Circles. Who was also in
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Robert Lang, who is the neighbour of Richard Burton in this, whose wife jumps out the window. Spoilers. Yes. He is also the psychiatrist in The House That Dripped Blood, which is one that we have previously reviewed in episode God knows what, with John Pertwee, Ingrid Pitt, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, all the other gang. So yeah, there's a few in here. There's there
was just so many. This script was like 4 times as long, and I
there's
cut
Gordon
it off.
Honeycomb, as we would say in Wales, Gordon Honeycomb. But also one guy that I did recognise, and I don't know if you two recognise him. I can't remember his name, but he's the doctor who has the dream in Plague of the Zombies.
Whoa! Okay.
He is a doctor in the hospital in this part that comes and says, "I don't know what's keeping this man alive."
Yeah,
it's basically the doctor who sees his wife decapitated in Plague of the Zombies.
Yeah, and Michael Hordern's in it as well.
Horden is in it. Australia, kangaroos.
Yeah,
spooky.
Absolutely
spooky.
Well, let's get to it.
Let's go. Let's get to it. I'm not sure. Are we going to try and do the whole film now, considering it's already 10 o'clock?
Well, we'll see how we go.
We'll see how far we go.
See how far.
Now, I may be this may be a Mandela effect, and I may be misremembering it. But to me, this film felt like it was one of the things that would oft turn up in, and we've spoken about it before, that compilation thing that was often on the BBC called Best of British.
Oh.
Do you remember like when we spoke about The Shout?
Yes.
Ah, right. Okay. Now, there used to be...
It was like a clip show. Yes.
That's right. John is absolutely on the money.
Yeah.
And you look back on it now and it's pretty cheap.
Yes.
But what the BBC did was they kind of did a compilation of, as John says, of clips from various different British films, often on a theme.
Yes, I'd totally forgotten this, James.
And if you go back and listen to our episode on The Shout, I say this was for many, many years, my only exposure or knowledge of the movie The Shout was because it freaked me out a bit when I saw it on Best of British.
Yes.
Now, I may be misremembering it, Mandela effect style, but I feel that it turned up on one of those.
Oh,
the Medusa Touch. So as we started watching it, I've had this weird feeling of it feels familiar, but I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So that program was always like clips of Margaret Rutherford as Miss Marple, and always like Kind Hearts and Coronets and stuff like that, wasn't it? God, fuck!
Man in the White Suit.
I had totally forgotten that, and that is I watched a program last night, which was about Nicholas Pevsner, who was like this architectural historian. Architorial. I made a new word then, and it was on in 1997, and the guy that was presenting it was Michael Bracewell, who wrote a book that came out in 1997 called England Is Mine, which I read in college, which was this massive book for me. And you saying that, James, was the same feeling that I had watching this program last night, that I was just like, this mad rush of information I'd forgotten for like 30 years suddenly was like unlocked in my mind. It used to be on all the time, that Best of British thing, didn't it?
Yes.
Also, what they used to do was a compilation of best of Carry On film bits, wasn't it?
Carry On Laughing.
Yes, which you'd just be like, why is this on? Because it would just be like, it would just be like, and then it would just be Barbara Windsor's bra pinging off.
Yeah. And they used to do Disney Hour as well, where it was just clips of Disney films.
Yes.
It was demented.
Well, it's just what people do on YouTube now, isn't it? Just watch clips of films.
Just watch clips. Yeah. So, how does this film start? Because all I've written about really is the people in this film.
Well, I think it starts like a lot of my favourite films where they pan across someone's apartment, so you get a good idea what that character is like.
We see the outside of a lovely kind of flat.
It's a lovely flat.
An Edwardian flat in London, and then you go inside, don't you?
And we see Edvard Munch's. Now, it's popularly known as The Scream, but of course, that's what it's become known as. It's actually untitled.
Is it really, James?
Yes. If you look it up,
and there's many versions of it as well, isn't there?
There are many versions.
There's loads of
the
different
version
versions.
they show in this is, I think, is cropped and totally wrong from the art department there.
Yeah,
that's me doing.
It's shown as a landscape rather than a portrait, which I've never seen.
Which is weird. Yes.
Yes. So you pan across, and is this the hunched Burton watching something to do with, as we might be doing later tonight, watching something to do with a moon rocket going on?
I think it's the British rocket group are worrying about their spaceship being gone missing.
Yes.
Right.
So you hear all that Cape Canaveral stuff.
Yeah, and it's got that classic 70s sort of like people talking over each other, a bit like the beginning of Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes.
And he's watching TV on the same TV unit my nan used to have. One of these.
Nice.
Yeah. And
it's a TV. I don't know. Younger people won't get this at all, but it's a TV. They don't even know about TVs anymore. But it's a TV where you press the button in for what channel you want.
The channel, click at the top.
It's crazy. I was talking to someone today who I've been working with in the opera, who was basically is young enough to be my son, because they were born in the year 2000, and that's when Helen and I got together.
So as the camera pans across this flat, which I put down, it looks like my dream flat.
Yeah.
Less so in the day, but during the night, it's kind of, it's as John says, it's a lovely location. It's the top, and it pans past a lot of books. Beautifully lit. And what I note is that as the credits go up down the bottom, I noticed that it was an ITC production.
Yes. Lord Lou Grade.
You've got it, John, that this therefore was kind of funded by Lou Grade.
Big cigars.
For our international listener, Lou Grade was a man huge in the UK entertainment field in the kind of post-war years. So you had the BBC to start off with, and then they opened up ICV, i.e. other channels, commercial television. And Lou Grade was one of the big figures in the foundation of ITV, and his thing, ITC, was his production company, and they were involved. They made things like, I want to say Captain Scarlet.
No.
No.
They did Danger Man.
Yeah.
They did Randall and Hopkirk. They did The Prisoner.
Yeah.
Did they do the thing with the guy who's in, plays like the Baron in Flash Gordon?
They did The Baron.
Yeah. What's it called? Jason King.
Yes.
Jason King.
Yeah.
They did that. Department S.
That's it.
I think.
The Avengers?
They did the Avengers.
The Avengers.
I think.
The Sean Connery, fucking hell. The Roger Moore thing.
Yeah,
the Saint.
And they did the one with him with Tony Curtis as well.
Yeah.
They didn't
The
do
Persuaders.
Captain Scarlet, though, James, because that was Jerry Anderson. And
that's Jerry Anderson.
I think that was his own production company.
Okay, cool. Cool, fair enough. But so I was just thinking sort of ITV things from sort of like the 70s.
Very ITV, and it's very colour-oriented quite early on.
So I used to get confused by these because it looks American, but it's British, and so I turned it off because it confused me too much.
And I noticed as a result of this, I thought, that's interesting. As John said, this is going to be a Lou Grade thing.
Yeah.
And I imagine that he probably and I thought in my head, there's supposed to be a story about him negotiating with Richard Burton. But I noticed have you noticed that there was a real heavy use of ITN News?
Yes. There was
in this film, and that's why Gordon Honeycomb and Sean Taylor are in it.
Yeah. The glory days of ITV, basically, when they all had their own regional franchises. ITC would have sold programs to these regional franchises, like Thames, like Granada,
TV Central.
Yeah, Central was a later one. Before that, they would have been ABC, I think it was called.
Anglia?
Anglia was more like Norfolk and that area.
Yeah, that's right.
ABC would have made Crossroads.
Oh.
Do.
Great. Right, so...
We are really literally showing our age now with stuff like this.
We are. That's who cares? Right, that's what people are listening for, I like to think.
I think you're right, Joe.
Yes. So the camera finish, as we've already heard, the camera finishes panning across this flat.
I can't believe we're still only at this part
on the
of the
opening. A figure is watching the aforementioned TV news where an American lunar mission to establish
a base
its
on
first
the moon,
permanent lunar base, has gone horribly wrong. It sounds like it's in the process of going wrong, and with that, someone has let themselves into this flat, picks up a heavy bust
of Napoleon.
Not
Dolly Parton.
No, exactly. And
heavy
clobbers. And clobbers the viewing
a very long
person.
time.
Repeatedly overhead.
Multiple hits. Do we see Burton at this point? We hear
he turns around and he says something to them like, about time he did something.
Yeah. I think he says, a response at last.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Nice, John. Nice. Excellent. And so then, we're off to the races, and our story is underway.
Yes.
And we're told that this man has been murdered. And then this is the first thing I kind of picked up was that, yes, it's got it's the aforementioned, and this is something I'm going to say over and over again. It's absolutely in that sweet spot of The Omen at the same time, The Exorcist being on the same sort of time. Things from the 1970s to do with telekinesis and like Arthur C. Clarke's World of the Unexplained.
The Unexplained magazine.
Unexplained magazine. All of that kind of vibes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely there, but interestingly enough, it's wrapped up in a murder mystery.
Yes.
And this is why I said, I don't know if Ross would have cut it out or not, but this absolutely feels like a novel that they feel in terms of how they flash back and forward across the timeline, and the whole kind of, this is really dressed up as a whoddunit.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
It made me think of Deathline a bit with the way that the detectives are trying to work out what's happened.
I have to say from the outset, it's really obvious who the murderer is.
Yeah.
Because
so you don't have a named person on the DVD box.
Within about 25 minutes, you're like, the French guy is like, thank you, you've given me another lead. And it's like, but you're not following those leads in the film, mate.
No.
So you talk about leads, but then you don't go and follow any of these leads, really. You just kind of keep coming and talking to this person who ends up being unmasked as the killer.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing, or I felt was interesting as we watched it, is that it tries to set itself up as maybe he's not telekinetic. Maybe he's not telekinetic.
Yes.
Maybe there's an alternative explanation, and it's just all coincidental.
He's deluded. He thinks that that he thinks that all the bad things in his life were down to him. Yeah.
And that's the classic trope with all of our films that we watch, isn't it? Where there is the truth in the film, which is the bad things are happening, but then outside of that, there's always this coincidence or scientific thing that's like, it can't be that because that's not scientific.
Although, for me, where this film falls down is that they get to the conclusion it is real about 2/3 of the way in.
The way through.
Everyone is convinced, and then it just carries on going for quite a long time.
I have to say, Cleves, there is no way that this film falls down in any way. This is the greatest film we've watched.
Okay.
By light years.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's fucking brilliant.
So yes, we then call in our protagonist, the French inspector.
Inexplicably French.
Yeah. Although they do finally explain why.
He's on exchange.
Yeah, he's a French exchange student, isn't he? That's my note.
Like me in 1991.
and it's always important.
With Jerome.
You know, we've got some, life or death cases to solve. Let's have somebody who can't speak English very well,
Yeah, but it's all right because he's got his friend from Scotland Yard with him.
Yes, who is the Nazi in the Last
Indiana
Crusade?
And I was what I liked at this bit is that you think it's a murder and you're going to be sold it through flashbacks, and then suddenly he comes, he's not dead, and that was a bit of a shock for me.
Yes.
I
have seen the end of this film before. So I knew that there was a sequence where he was in hospital like that, but I hadn't seen the start. So I was surprised to see the start. And I was like, this is quite interesting because then a lot of the film is told in flashback, which I think is a really interesting device and not, as you would expect, all modern cinema people say, invented by Quentin Tarantino. There are films made before Quentin Tarantino.
But made me think, was the book like this, or was this a case of like Burton said, I will only do this amount of stuff, so therefore we need to be able to get a point where we can disguise the fact that he's not actually on set, and then work backwards from that.
Yeah,
probably.
2 bottles of good quality liquor a day. It becomes interesting to try. I wasn't trying to kill myself.
I also thought that along with when we watched the Asphyx, this is another film from the 70s that shows that the British emergency services are really half-assed. Bear in mind that it's like, oh my God, he's not dead. It's like, did nobody check?
Yeah. But his face is all mucky. I don't want to get close to him.
His fucking
this man's alive.
Yeah. He looks dead, so therefore he is dead.
It's nowhere near as bad as the funeral services in Britain in the 70s, where they can't even bury a body under the ground. and he's sat on a motorbike.
And your friends can just bury them. You don't need to get anyone.
Yeah, absolute best. Yeah. Dear listener, if you've not listened to our Psychomania episode, listen to the Psychomania.
That's one of the best still, isn't it? Psychomania. Fantastic. I still think about it now and like, wow.
John, would you like us to bury you like that? But like,
yes,
in a Reliant Kitten.
In a Mini. Yeah. I was going to say in a Mini.
Both.
Yeah.
One on each foot. Stuff.
Yeah.
So they then, as they leave, so they find out that Richard Burton is not dead, and he is then rushed off to hospital. And then we learn at the same time that there has been a jumbo jet crash.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the name. It's like, wow.
We drive past
busy
it, don't
news
we?
day.
Yeah.
Yes. Which quite clearly and, convenient, they were obviously just tearing down a block of flats somewhere.
I thought
that.
Yeah, and as we know from watching The Survivor, you don't just go and pick up the wreckage from a plane crash. It's got to stay in place so they can properly investigate what happened. Don't just pick it all out and just go take it down the dump.
They don't do that in Blighty Cleves. They just put it all on the back of a truck and then just drive it off
tip it somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, so we also then find, conveniently enough, for the sake of story, that Richard Burton has left a copious diary.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has written a lot in his diary, all in block capitals, mind you.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's legible.
Extremely legible, all in block capitals. And he mentions in this a particular name over and over.
Yeah.
And so our French detective says, right, I'm going to go and meet this. I'm going to go and find out who this person is.
Yeah,
Zonfield, which is very...
a lot of the names in this are weird, aren't they? Like, he's called Morlar.
Yeah.
They're kind of weirdly mangled non-English
films.
Yeah. Which I don't know if that's because it's a co-production or what, but I was like, these names are just, no one's called like Smith or like.
Oh, have we missed the point when he's wired up to like some computer?
Hold on a minute.
Triumph 2000, dodgy carpet, Dorchester, French. I thought he was Italian.
That's in a bit.
Yeah.
That's it. Ross, or we see the computer after we have the flashback to his childhood days.
Oh, okay.
Actually, why is there a dodgy carpet?
I don't know. Which bit? Are you thinking about the yacht?
No, when the Italian Frenchman climbs up the stairs.
Oh yes, yeah. The bar on the stairs. I thought that what I've written down. Why did that happen? But then I was thinking, is it implying that he's trying to thwart the investigation with his psychic powers? But the thing is there's only one occurrence of that, so therefore you don't get any kind of.
There is no reason.
Unless it happened and they thought, and they didn't get any other decent take, so they had to go back and do like a fill-in take to show that the carpet came loose.
All I wrote was that it happens in Dorchester Cathedral.
Yes.
Which is Robert Hardy.
Stalls of Dorchester.
Stalls of Dorchester Cathedral, who is big friends with Richard Burton.
Yes.
But I don't know what happens because I haven't written any other notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I've just written down what the cars are.
Mm-hmm.
My next note is that when he gets to Zonfield's office, what I put is it looks exactly like M's office from the original James Bond movies, doesn't it?
Padded doors.
Yes, the padded doors. I wondered if it was actually the same set. I don't know. Probably not. It probably was.
They probably got Roger Moore next door.
We're just waiting to come in.
1978.
Yes.
So that would be The Spy Who Loved Me. So yeah, it's Roger Moore.
Very
it's
highly
Bernard
possible.
Lee. The gang's all here.
So he goes in to this office, finds out that Zonfield is a woman, and Zonfield was his psychiatrist.
I wasn't expecting a woman.
A woman. And she's like, oh, and I wasn't expecting a Frenchman. You know, that whole kind of vibe, isn't it? And then we kind of get into the story. He's like, okay, tell me about Richard Burton.
Yeah.
What's
no
the deal
patient
with
confidentiality at all.
No. No. Just tell it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get on with it.
Yeah.
Spill your guts. And then what we get is what I put is a lovely cut back to Richard Burton.
Yeah.
Like it's the same office, it's the same room.
But they have a great thing where his face appears.
His face is hovering.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like floating around in the middle of the.
And then he
quite
starts
a long
to say,
time. Yeah.
Few men would have dreamed being scrutinized.
As creatures.
A body as big as a
swarm
bear.
And multiply.
Glistened like wet leather.
Brilliant. Right. And we then get Richard
Burton.
Thanks. Right. So, sorry, everybody.
Is that David Essex?
Yes.
No, he's underground. David Essex. No, Nathaniel. That's the vicar's daughter, isn't it, Nathaniel?
Yeah.
Okay.
If one man can stand tall.
Yes. Okay, look. Let's do War of the Worlds at another point.
Yes, okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, because otherwise we're going to get off.
It's very recognisable.
It's extremely recognisable. So what we then find out is, so we get like the early years of Richard Burton, and he is being brought up, we're told, in a seaside resort.
Some tossers.
It's
basically a bit like Tommy, isn't it? That it's like
it is. Well, first of all, doesn't he say that he feels guilty because he feels he's killed his nurse?
Yes.
We see him ill with like measles,
and she's scaring him with Bible stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I wish she was dead.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know,
she's dead.
She is dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Then he goes to the seaside with his mum and his dad.
Yes.
I think his dad's some Wurzel Gummidge. I think he was
possible. Now, what I've put here is that the hotel looks weirdly familiar.
James, it did to me as well. I thought it was Scarborough. You probably thought it was
No. I just
away.
No. I didn't think it was down here.
No,
I just felt it was a very, very familiar building. I thought they've used this before.
Yeah.
It's right on the water as well, isn't it?
Yes,
like you cross the street and then there is the sea.
Weirdly, the ruin that's in it is in the first ever episode of Here We Go, which is a BBC sitcom from now. It's weird. It's in the southeast of Britain.
Yes, he then, we're told that he's like, father and mother took me for like a day trip somewhere. And what I put is those ruins look amazing.
Yeah, I thought they were the ruins out of the Watchtower TV series. So Herne Bay.
Herne Bay.
Okay. Yes.
Lovely. Good find, Ross. Well done. So while they're at Herne Bay, young Richard Burton is left in the car while mother and father have a romantic stand at the cliff edge.
Yes.
And look out over the sea. And then this is, as we've just mentioned, the first, is it his psychic powers or is it something else? In short, the brakes fail on the car.
Yes.
The car careens towards his mum and dad. And what I put is, dear listener, I laughed at their deaths. They die in a really stupid way.
Yes.
The car is rolling towards them quite slowly.
Yeah.
And the way they go, and they do like a good...
Turn into dummies.
Yes. And
it's like a Kenny Everett sort of...
Well, it reminded me of Some Others to Have Them when he's in the Morris Minor on the edge of the cliff.
Yes. So the production team just launch a car and two dummies off the side of...
so much in things we watched as a kid. Stuff was always going over cliffs.
Yes. It's a Morris, but I don't know what model it is, sorry.
I do think it probably because it was cheap and it was seen as, look, this will look good. Because if you think about it, it is quite, as long as you've not got an actual stuntman involved, it is quite cheap to do, isn't it? You just get an old car and push it off the edge of something and film it.
It's like 30 quid then. It's probably worth like £12,000 now. I just looked at Herne Bay and it's next to Whitstable, which is, of course, where Peter Cushing lived, I think. Is that not true? Is that not true? I'm sure that's true.
Aren't you going to the Peter Cushing Whitstable weekend with Talking Pictures TV, John?
Well, that is true, though. I'm sure. Isn't that true? Whitstable? We next see him in a boarding school then, don't we? With something Normington is the teacher's name, who it was one of the villains in Doctor Who, The Caves of Androzani.
There is a pub called the Peter Cushing in Whitstable. It's a Wetherspoons.
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's incredible. Does it have its own carpet, bespoke carpet, though? Like all Wetherspoons pubs have a bespoke carpet.
Not sure. It's a very nice carpet. I'm looking at pictures of it now. There's lots of pictures of Cushing in there.
Well, of course there is. It's called the Peter Cushing.
Yeah, we need to go there.
They're not going to put pictures of Christopher Lee up, are they? The next scene then is him in his boarding school. He's looking out the window at some leaves. The teacher, Norman Rossington, or whatever his name is. It's not Norman Rossington. That's a different actor. Has a go at him. And then young Richard Burton looks at him. And then later on that night, does he have a heart attack?
No, they have to go.
He burns the school down. He burns the school down, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of a creepy bit when he goes to, because the teacher
there's a boy in the teacher's room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very suspicious.
Yeah. He has to go and pick up a certain amount of leaves in the rain, and then when he brings them in,
1,149, I think it was, something
and
like
when
that.
you open the door, you see like a boy sort of sitting in the teacher's room in the background, which is
hanging out.
And then
it's creepy. And also, the teacher says, "Oh, we have a philosopher in our midst."
Yeah.
And my point is, that's my actual job.
Yeah.
I'd be delighted. Yeah.
I've been noticed at last.
They're actually thinking. Wonderful. Good. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
That's what the scene is about, isn't it? It's like,
he is a creepy teacher.
Yes.
And after telling young Richard Burton he needs to go and collect a load of leave punishment, when he takes them up to his study, he's like, "Oh, you insolent boy. I don't want
damp
wet leaves."
Yes.
I can't have that. So he takes them down into the basement.
Chucks them in the boiler.
Chucks them into the incinerator.
Yeah, and leaves the door open.
Yeah.
Which does burn down the school.
Causing fire?
Yes.
Question mark?
Yes.
Or has he mentally willed it to happen?
Used the Medusa Touch.
Well, yeah.
You've got it.
Or the Medusa Gaze,
exactly.
as the film should have been called.
Yes.
So then we're off and running, and as we've mentioned, our central premise is set up. So number one, who has attacked and almost killed Richard Burton?
Yes.
And number two, is Richard Burton in control? Does he actually have the Medusa Touch?
Yes.
Or is it all just coincidence?
So in the hospital, he's wired up to 2 massive televisions. One of them is registering his body's voice size, which is not doing anything at all. But the other one is doing his brain.
Yeah.
And his brain is making the...
Yeah. Basically, the radiophonic workshop. Yes.
So and the hospital are moaning because they said they want the bed for one of the victims.
This scene is mental, isn't it?
Yeah. So we got lots of people hurt from the plane crash, and he's making up a bed, and his body's dead. So as soon as his brain dies, we're going to have his.
We basically
want
this twat to die, so we can put someone else in his fucking bed. All right.
But they leave a policeman who's there for the whole film with a pad and paper, just in case he could write down who killed him.
Yeah. Incredible. This film is incredible. The doctor, the police inspector, Frenchman, is stopped in the street by 2 people. One is Ian Marter, who is Harry Sullivan, the companion of Tom Baker's Doctor who went on to write a number of novels for Doctor Who, including the non-canonical Harry Sullivan's War, which came out as a Target imprint in 1985. But then Ian Marter died himself of a heart attack in 1986.
Very sad, yeah.
It's very sad.
Wow.
And of course, he was in Tom Baker's first episode as Doctor Who.
Robot.
Yes, he was, wasn't he?
Yes.
But which is not the first episode of John Pertwee's.
I don't. Well, there's 2 things I can say about this, Cleves. One is that Robot was the first first story to be filmed totally on OB videotape.
Which is not the same as...
are you mistakenly referencing Spearhead from Space?
Yeah.
Which was filmed totally on 16mm film.
Of course, yes.
Yes, of course. So then we're introduced to Harry Andrews' character, who is sat in the back of a black Ford Granada.
So this part of the plot confused me because it turns out that he's the assistant chief commissioner, and he's very interested in this case, and he tells the French guy to drop all the other cases he's doing and just concentrate on this, and also to report directly to him about what's going on.
But this kind of goes nowhere.
Yeah,
because it's like you think. As you said, Cleves, you think this is like Deathblind, where there's some kind of weird, where the scene you've got Christopher Lee come in his bowler hat, haven't you?
Yes.
And he's like, drop this part of the investigation because the first guy that's murdered is some kind of government brass hat.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, you're just like, I don't know why
they're interested.
Do they? Yeah. Do the powers that be somehow know who Richard Burton's character is? If they do, that's not really explored at all, is it?
Is it because they think he was responsible for the plane crash, and they did? I don't know.
Well, part of this whole film,
the plane crash is like literally like the day before at this point, isn't it? So how would they? Well, why would they think that?
Part of this whole film is psychic powers are real, everyone.
Yes.
As we said, that whole kind of 70s vibe of, and then we'll get onto it in a bit. There's a wonderful sequence where the French detective is doing some research and watches some kind of psychic powers documentary footage.
Yeah.
Which converts
some of which look real, and then some of them look set up for the film, don't they?
There was like the shattering of glass with the mine, moving a pencil around by basically blowing it.
So a Russian woman who seems to be moving a watch with the power of her bosoms, which is quite strange.
Well, you got magnetic tips, haven't she?
Right. Okay. So I read it as, okay, the kind of the institutions, the powers that be are aware that some people have psychic powers and we're keeping an eye on them in inverted commas.
Right.
Yes. I might be wrong, but that's just how I read it. And it's like, can you confirm?
Yeah, this is one of the dead ends, and there's another bit with a dead end and a bit which
I think you're right, James, but it just goes nowhere at all.
No, it doesn't.
And there are quite a few ways that this film sets up interesting ideas, which literally are forgotten after a scene, which is quite unusual, even for the films that we watch, where they're like, oh, here's an interesting cul-de-sac. We're going to take the film down this for a scene, and then we're just going to totally forget it.
Yes.
Which I think is how you say, James, how it's like a novel. There are lots of aspects where there's a part in a novel where, say, he visits Michael Horden, but then that's just forgotten.
Goes
straight away.
Yeah. It feels like
Michael,
it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Horden can't read his future or is terrified of it.
Yeah, so let's just talk about that bit. So there's a bit when the French guy goes back to the psychiatrist and wants more stories of
yes,
and one of them is he talks about going to visit a psychic. And the psychic is Michael Horden, and who's absolutely brilliant in this. The guy, Michael Horden, is like all sort of jovial and all that, until he looks into Burton's eyes.
Yes.
And then
he's like, oh.
Yeah, and then he's like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And and
then it's squeaky bum time, isn't it, basically?
And he acts brilliant, really good.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just a fantastic actor, and he should have done more stuff.
The bit that I thought goes nowhere is the bit where Burton goes to visit Noel Edmonds, aka Derek Jacobi.
And then he goes and talks to a tramp on the bed.
Yes.
Who's the tramp?
That goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Who is the tramp? And he's there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then that's not disclosed. So that there's quite a few. I feel like that we're waiting for the director's cut of this film, which came out 48 years ago.
Or it was like, we've got another 20 pages which we need Burton to film, but he said
he won't do it.
Yeah.
Yes,
sorry, everyone.
That's fair.
Elizabeth has been in touch. The dogs have shat all over the yacht again. I need to go and do the wild geese to pay for another set of carpets.
Yeah. I'm
dreadfully sorry.
I can't stand up. Just can someone please just carry me?
Because of my alcohol-infused spine, crystalline spine.
Isn't it awful?
It's
awful.
It's like
how much have you got to drink in order to make
like...
that? Yeah, it's powered spin.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a superhuman effort to stay alive to 58, basically, isn't it?
Yes. Well, the other thing Ross has now mentioned that Derek Jacobi turns up as Noel Edmonds. It's incredible. He looks so much like 1970s Noel Edmonds. It's superb. Obviously, the mention of the tramp, as John's just said. The other thing that I've just put down is that as they're driving around, obviously this is very late 70s London, always lovely to see.
Yes.
One of the locations they go to, I noticed that it's Covent Garden.
Mm.
You can see Covent Garden in the background.
Can you?
Frenzy.
Correct, Ross. Thank you. And I was going to say, hey, this is our second time we've seen Covent Garden in the 1970s because we saw it in
I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
I got to say that the main proportion in this film is a lot of vignettes, which are basically Burton acting his way, but like chomping through scenery.
Yes.
Overacting through sequences where he sends people to their doom. The next one is where the wife of his neighbor jumps out the window, which is tremendous fun.
Yes.
And it's like some kind of insane Two Ronnie sketch.
Yeah.
Where
the sound effect of a cartoon is playing over the top. So Burton is trying to write his massive diary.
His memoir.
And the neighbour is over the road having an argument and have cartoons on really loud
about a rotten fish that the man has brought home.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'll open a tin of ravioli. And as he turns to do that, Burton shouts, "For God's sake, woman, jump!" or something.
Jump out of the bloody window!
Yeah. And then as the man turns back from his ravioli, she's gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, this film is just brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've put that during that bit. I'm Team Richard Burton.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yes,
I'll be using my powers for real at that point.
Well, as they're arguing, the man who's in the house that dripped blood keeps turning up the TV, doesn't he, so that no one can hear their argument. And then Burton is just like, right, fuck's sake, fucking jump out the window.
But this is a very, very weak attempt at a red herring, because they kind of make out that the neighbour might have had a reason to kill Burton.
To kill him. Yes, once again. And this is the novel factor that it's kind of a whodunit.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that it's then undercut by, well, anyone that would want to kill him, Richard Burton would just literally will them to death.
Yes.
And thus, as a result, he'd be very hard to kill.
Yes.
But the notion of him having a number of people that do want him dead, once again, as we said, if this film was longer, if this film was like a mini-series or a novel, I think that works really well. I really love that.
A mini-series of this would be like the best thing I'd ever seen, James.
With Martin Clunes
Imagine
in the park.
Martin Clunes.
No, Burton.
Resurrected.
When AI is worth its salt, I am going to get AI to make this as a mini-series. And I'll be like, Siri, make the Medusa Touch into a mini-series.
So, but would you play it and they would deep fake his face over your face, John?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. It's me in a green screen.
With lifts.
Yeah. I'm a 4'11" Welshman.
So, as we've been hearing, what we then obviously get as the French detective goes around trying to piece together, who would want to kill this man? And does he have these?
Ultimately, he's given loads of leads, but he just listens to the stories and then forgets them. He's like, no.
Then he goes to do a bit of cooking with the
Yes,
that scene's brilliant. We haven't talked about where Richard Burton is a lawyer yet.
That's exactly what I was trying to bring the ship round to. You two.
Do we know who the guy in the dock is? Because he's very really familiar. He's insanely familiar.
I'll see if I can find out. Keep talking.
Okay, while Ross is doing that, for our listener, so as our police inspector carries out his investigation, we learn more, and so obviously piecemeal, we're building up Richard Burton's life, and we learn that years before he was a lawyer or a barrister. To be more precise.
Isn't he meant to be a young barrister at this point? Looking
very young barrister.
That's what I was going to say, Cleve. So then they cut to a scene where he looks exactly the same. What
you've got to say is
all he's got on is like
is magnificent. He gives this impassioned speech about why this guy shouldn't go to prison, and it's amazing.
It's something about
brilliant
piss poor medals.
Yes. These men. What do you want from
basically,
them?
I think he threatened to blow up the war museum.
Yes, that's right. That was it, Ross.
But he didn't do it. He just said he was going to do it. But then he basically he's a pacifist.
Yes.
Yeah, and Burton agrees with him to say that we shouldn't be gloriousing war and stuff.
Yes,
but he said it all to the wrong judge, who then sent the guy down for 9 years or something.
9 years. Yeah.
My lord, the prosecution makes much of the defendant's professed wish to see the Imperial War Museum destroyed. Why, the defendant asks, do we send busloads of children to gawp at that collection of tributes to authorized murder? A crime? Well, look at this venerable courtroom. We're supposed to be civilized, aren't we? Yet we do shove innocence into that chamber of horrors stuffed with pain and mutilation and death and say, look, children, this is what put the great in Britain. But where in that asylum of grotesques do we find framed the armament manufacturer's checkbook together with Grandpa's piss-pathetic medal and his artificial leg? I, for one, am with the defendant. If I knew how, I would blow the bloody place sky high. For which thought, if memory serves, the prosecution argues, if a man can be so scathing about our bloodied, militaristic past, what is he not capable of? I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, he is not capable of a non-event. There was no bomb, no threats, no conspiracy. You know it, the prosecution knows it, I know it, the judge knows it. It is not the defendant who should be on trial here, but a besotted establishment who can cheerfully send a generation to slaughter in the name of war, and yet has the audacity to bring a hapless fool like Lovelace to trial for uttering words. There was no crime. Therefore, there can be no sentence. My lord.
And then we're told, like the guy who he's defending, gives him a filthy look, as if, oh, you bastard, despite the fact that he's just given him the most passionate oratory ever.
Yes.
And then we're told, oh, and guess what? A few hours later, the judge was dead.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. So it's just another one in the, did he do it? Didn't he? I should also mention out that along with his diary, Richard Burton, we see that he keeps a wonderful, chaos scrapbook of all the bad things which he believes that he's caused.
Yes.
He's put them. And I put down, it is so neat. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It's a work of art. It's the most neatly cut out. scrapbook of death and chaos you'll ever see. It's wonderful.
That's a brilliant name for something, Joe.
Thank you.
The scrapbook of death. I'm now trying to find the guy in the dock.
I just don't know what his name is, unfortunately, so I can't find it.
What is the man in the dock, isn't he? Harry Andrews.
Well, and then we're then also told that after this as well, sort of like the next kind of bit of chaos or the next remarkable point in Burton's life is...
Oh my God. You know the dean in the church?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, who is he? He's really familiar. He's the butler in The Shining.
Hey! It's
the one who's being pleasured by someone dressed as a bear.
And he was
insane.
He was then in Flash Gordon as he is the vicar who is doing...
No way.
Yes, don't you remember?
The film is a series of vignettes where it's basically recounted by how much of a twat Richard Burton is to everyone.
Yeah.
So he's horrible to his wife. He has a kid that's born and it's deformed and it dies.
Yes.
It's hinted that he has killed the baby. Then he goes back and he sees his wife and she is hanging out with TV Sherlock Holmes, alias Jeremy Brett. And then they die in a car crash. So it's basically everyone that has wronged him, he kind of does a kind of mental thing, but
a psychiatrist doesn't believe in. But so this is what I was trying to work out. Does he want her to believe him so that she can stop him from doing this, or is he just showing off? Okay. And
no, I think he can't bring himself to kill himself. I think he's hoping that someone is going to form, some form of intervention on it.
I found the guy in the dock.
Yeah.
His name was James Hazeldine. He died in 2002.
Right.
He was known for London's Burning.
Here it is. Yeah.
He's also in The Omega Factor.
Yeah.
Adrian Mole, The Cappuccino Years. He was in Dial and Pasco.
Mm-hmm.
He was in The Last Train, which I think we've mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Heartbeat. He was in Boone.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Ken Boone. I don't know what he died of, though, so I'm going to see what he died of. Carry on.
A psychiatrist still doesn't believe in, so in order to prove it to her,
oh yes,
he makes a plane crash into Center Point.
I'm glad you've named it as Center Point, Pete, because I was like, that's Center Point.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's some fantastic images online of them built of this massive model they built of that in order to do it. It's implied that they're in Burton's flat. A plane's flying past near Center Point. He looks out the window, takes control of it. She turns around and watches as he's using his Medusa powers to crash into the thing. But when you look, there's net curtains in front of the window. So she couldn't see out of the window to see this plane, which is fucking miles away.
This is also after he's just blown up a space rocket as well.
Yeah. And then she's really calm about seeing this. Turns on the television to see.
I think what you're trying to say here, Cleves, is this is one of the greatest scenes in film history.
Okay, well, let's see it through your eyes, and John. Tell me what you saw.
Okay, I saw one of the greatest scenes in film history, which is basically some close-ups on Richard Burton.
Yeah, and that's it, is it? That's all it needs to be, right?
That's all it needs to be. And then some cutaways of people on a jumbo jet.
With massive 70s chairs.
Yes. Everyone's smoking on board.
Yeah. Everyone's smoking, everyone's screaming.
In a massive cockpit with like a huge ceiling in it, like loads of room.
They're then flying into a painting of Center Point.
Yeah.
And then it just all blows up. And then I stood up, I saluted, I sung God Save the King, and then I sat down again.
How did your father's, weren't it, Johnny?
my macabre thought as I watched that was that I thought, now, since 9/11, we know exactly what it looks like when a plane goes into a building and it doesn't look like
I think this film was shown to the Saudi Arabian terrorists as inspiration.
Do you think Osama bin Laden had the Medusa Touch?
There that day was Bin Laden, there was George Bush, there was O.J. Simpson, and there was Jeffrey Epstein. And I tell you who else was there that day? Peter Mandelson.
Yep, in his pants.
They were all there. Prince Andrew was there. They watched this film.
Yeah.
They said, guys, go and fucking take down that Twin Tower.
Yeah, and get some giant hologram machines as well. And
what's that?
Well, the planes didn't really go into the tower, so they were holograms, weren't they? And
were they really?
Yeah, apparently so.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, that's right. And that's just reminded me. I've looked it up, right? Because
I don't believe that, really, listeners. Yeah.
Right. Okay. When they went and got Bin Laden,
yes.
they got
him.
Right.
I've got to say, in Wales, people call him Bin Laden. That's why I just called him Bin Laden.
When they seized his hard drive, and do you not know about this, John?
No. What, Bin Laden's hard drive?
Hard drive. Yes.
I thought he did it all on cassettes.
Did he take that into PC World?
Yeah,
he probably did. That's what
they said. I'm fixing Pete Townsend's computer at the moment. You're gonna have to come back later.
And Gary
Glitters tomorrow. Yeah. Right. Okay. So it says there, key findings from the archive. This is for years. This is why people listen to this. At the start of listening to the Medusa Touch, you would not have thought they're going to talk about Bin Laden's hard drive. But here we go. Right. Famously, that it was also told that one of the, and this is the urban myth bit that I never know, is that allegedly one of the phone numbers that he had sewn into his garments was for the Pizza Hut in Finsbury Park in North London.
It's a sleeper cell. It's a sleeper cell.
Honestly,
well,
I think I've had slightly too much to drink, but is this happening?
What it says.
This is what Bin Laden had sewn into his garments.
Well, no,
Pizza
but then
Hut in Finsbury
Park's phone number. Apparently, no. So I'm reading what it says here. Released by the CIA in 2017, the files from Bin Laden's hard drive revealed a mix of jihadist propaganda, personal correspondence, and unexpected Western media, including animations, films, and video games. And it says the cache included over 72,000 images, 18,000 text files, 11,000 audio files, lots of them for WhatsApp messages, I imagine, and 10,000 videos. And then what it says, the media consumption. Files found included Gangnam Style, wildlife documentaries, Charlie Bit My Finger, I'm reading it here, and video games like Final Fantasy VII and Counter-Strike.
No way.
And the Medusa Touch.
And the Medusa Touch.
When did Bin Laden die?
2011.
No way.
Yeah.
So when was Gangnam Style?
There's
Before
a question.
That?
Yeah.
Was the lady
that little man doing that dance?
Yeah.
So right, okay. When did it come out?
This might be one of our peak episodes.
Hold up.
It's not often we go from where Peter Cushing lives to Bin Laden.
Now it's interesting.
Yes, go on, James.
That Gangnam Style was released in 2012.
Well, that's what I thought, James.
But it says it was recorded 2011 to 2012.
He had a pre-release
Gangnam Style.
Or it says horse dance, it was described as.
Do you know what that means? That
Sai was a sleeper agent.
Mason.
Yeah.
It's possible.
He's a Mason. There's a triangle with an eye in it. And also, he's a lizard. Just to let you know, I found out about the death of the guy from London's Burning.
What, John Olsen or James Hazelden?
Robbie Fowler.
Go on.
John Olsen.
Yes.
Wow, we have covered some ground on this.
Because he's part of Britain's year of killing pedos in prison, isn't he? He's the third one.
Wow. Who are the others?
Obviously,
Huntley.
Ian Huntley and the bad Ian Watkins. Not H from Steps, the good Ian Watkins. But the bad Ian Watkins from Lost Prophets.
And then what I sent you guys the other day, the picture of
Glitter on his last legs.
On his last legs.
Yeah.
What was it, James?
Pervert Tour.
No. What was the headline?
Hang on.
Pervert holed up in cell or something.
Perv. They wanted to say pervert because that's too long a word for them to read.
So James Hazeldine, television actor, stage and etc. Born in Salford, bless him. He's got nothing to do with these paedophiles. No. But basically, he was taken ill on the 10th of December 2002.
Smokulation.
A day after portraying Sigmund Freud.
Whoa!
In Christopher Hampton's play, The Talking Cure at Cottesloe Theatre. He died of an aortic dissection, which is what Whispering Bob Harris recently survived, which is an awful way to go, isn't it? So, yeah, he died in 2002, which I think is a lot longer ago than you'd expect, because he was quite familiar to me. When I saw him, I was like, that guy's still around. But no, he died 24 years ago.
Maybe his spirit's with you. Yeah.
He played Stalin in Nicholas and Alexandra. Have you found what that headline was, James?
Yeah, you were quite right.
What was it, James?
It says perv hold up in cell.
Where else would he be? He's in prison.
And then it says broke, comma, deaf, glitter, on last legs, pop pedo, comma, 81, comma, to die in prison, in inverted commas.
Yeah, that's news, is it?
Let me just remind you
the top news that day.
That just as I was getting together with Hell in the year 2000, there was a picture of him on holiday and it said, a bald, fat, evil pervert in paradise.
A bald? He was a
bald.
Okay, yeah.
It showed him without his toupee.
Right. Oh, dearie me.
So where have we got to with this madness now? This proves the fertile material from this film proves what a great film it is. Jeremy Brett's dead.
Yeah.
The wife's jumped out the window.
The plane's crashed.
Michael Horden shit himself. The plane's crashed.
So you think this is the end of the film?
The space rocket is stuck in an orbit, which means they'll never return to Earth. Yeah. You think this is the end of the film, and then what happens, Cleve?
So you think this is the end of the film. You think the doctor has admitted that she's the one who bludgeoned him to death.
Not Doctor Who.
No,
the psychiatrist.
Yeah, Dr. Zorham or whatever her name is. But then she said, "What, are you going to arrest me?" He goes, "No, I've got more important things to do, because now I think he's going to try and blow up a church where the Queen is going to be coming to
the West Front, which has been heavily trailed, hasn't it?
Yeah, the Westminster Cathedral. Is that right?
It's not Westminster. It was Bristol Cathedral.
It's Bristol Cathedral.
But they try and make it look like it.
Yeah.
It's Bristol Cathedral, which I've driven past many, many times at the bottom of Park Street. And when it came on screen, I was like, oh my God, that's Park Street.
Yeah. So essentially that cathedral has fallen to bits because lorries keep driving past it. And and the Queen is going to come to some big ceremony to raise money for it, which is prime time television. Because
yes, that's what I thought. A bit like in Quatermass when it's like, we're going to do a live broadcast here from fuck knows what.
I'm just someone talking about the sculptures inside a church. And it's like any filming in a church is like, this is going to be
prime time.
Yeah, and they keep going back to this church, and they are constantly just lifting lights up onto scaffolding, but the lights are up there, and it's like, this is days before it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And what I also want to say is it's the kind of lights that when you turn them on, they go...
Yeah.
I've turned on some really bright lights in my time, and I've never heard one go... And if I did, I'd shit myself.
And it's like they go back for days and days before.
Yeah.
And they're never any further forward than...
No. There's scaffolding, there's lighting, there's cranes.
Yeah.
And then...
£1 million productions with the Queen coming to this church.
Yes. And then what you've got is the two clergymen, let's call them. One of them is the butler from the fucking Shining, which I can't believe.
Yes.
That I've just seen. The other one is Charlie Gimbert from TV's Lovejoy.
Yeah.
And he was introduced as a villain, I think, in series 4. And I was like, that is Charlie Gimbert.
Do you know they're rebooting Lovejoy?
Like they did Bergerac. What a waste of time. The world has gone woke mad.
A classic TV drama set for a modern TV reboot.
Twist. They've brought back Lovejoy, but this time he's got 2 heads and 1 leg.
It's just the production company behind Slow Horses are developing a contemporary reboot of the classic drama show Lovejoy. These series were reimagined the original Jonathan Nash novels featuring a charismatic antiques dealer.
Yeah, McShane magic.
That's what they said.
So yeah, they go. So what's happening now? We've got the French, Italian.
They are trying. So the policeman believes it that Burton's going to destroy this church. I can't remember why he wants to destroy the church.
Because he just hates authority and the institution.
Yeah. And
the Queen's going to be there.
So the next half an hour is them just trying to convince them to close the church. And they do
church,
and it doesn't. Wasn't work the first time, and then it's all going to come ahead. And they said, okay, no. And then the police commissioner, he believes it as well. And they go, "What? You need to tell him it's a bomb that's going to go off."
That's the only way we're going to be able to.
And they still don't believe him.
No.
And then someone runs towards the Queen's car, he will get shot if he did this.
Now, Ross, you say that, and I thought that at the time. I thought, in the first instance, he should have had his badge out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But secondly, I thought, well, yeah, today you'd be shot dead in a second.
Yes.
But I thought, hold on, when we were kids in the early 1980s, that guy fired a gun at the Queen when she was on horseback from about 3 feet away.
Yeah.
Michael Ryan. Was it Michael Ryan? What was his name? The one that sat on a bed.
Yeah.
Right, hang on.
He was nuts.
Hang on. He was nuts.
He was nuts.
Who sat
But still,
on the
all
Queen's
of this is happening,
bed?
and still nobody believes it. And then the
Michael Fagan. I think Michael Ryan was the
Hungerford Massacre.
Hungerford Massacre.
Yeah, which is not a laughing matter.
No. Well, neither is someone
sitting on the Queen's bed. That is a laughing matter.
Michael Fagan, a 33-year-old unemployed decorator.
A whole episode of The Crown about this. There is
broke into. He's played by Matt Smith. Broke into Buckingham Palace and sat on Queen Elizabeth II's bed on July the 9th, 1982.
Yes.
He entered her bedroom around 7:15 after scaling the walls and spent roughly 10 minutes talking to her before help arrived. Where was Philip at this point?
Well, they're separate bedrooms,
separate rooms.
That's wild, isn't it? Imagine that. Imagine that.
Yeah.
He broke in and he sat on the Queen's bed.
And spoke to her for 10 minutes.
Yes, 10 minutes.
Well, if you watch the whole episode about it in The Crown, it's because he was on the dole. And then he went.
I thought you were making that up for us.
Is it actually? Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, so there's a whole episode about like his life, and then going to do it, and then it's him telling her like how bad things
Where
are.
is he now?
And then I think she talks to Thatcher about it.
Who then says "fuck him"?
Yeah.
Deary me.
So
let them eat cake. The lady's not for turning.
And then we have.
She's for burying, though.
A really good. Quite protracted scene of the church falling to bits and big lumps of it falling down on all the toffs in the church.
Michael Fagan is still alive. He looks a bit like
the actual Fagan.
He looks a bit like a guy in a pop group, like maybe Magazine or someone like that.
So do they then rush to the hospital to try and kill him?
Yeah.
He reportedly told her.
Meanwhile,
he was in a last resort looking to discuss the state of the country.
Yeah. Just watch The Crown. It's a good episode.
Can you imagine? You're the Queen, you're asleep. A guy comes in your room and says, I want to come and talk about the state of the country. And it's not Farage.
I think you should be allowed to do that.
Yeah, fair play. I love the Queen.
Yeah, so,
the old Queen.
So they rush. We should say that Lee Rennick kills herself.
Oh yes. So she goes
takes her own life.
Yeah, she goes to try and kill him, and then she takes her own life because he
opens his eyes.
He opens his eyes
in the one scene he filmed with the bandages on his head.
Which is very similar to the end of have we done Blood from the Mummy's Tomb?
No, I think we're doing it this year.
Oh,
might be doing it. Well, not.
Spoilers.
The Frenchman runs to the hospital I think they unplug him or something, and he dies. But as he dies, he opens up his hand and he's got a bit of paper with.
No, yeah. What the fuck? You've totally misremembered that, Cleves.
Oh, does he?
He doesn't open up his hand at all. He writes wind scale.
Wind scale, yeah.
So wind scale, as in, it changed its name, didn't it? What was it known as later after wind scale? Wind scale was a nuclear generator in Cumbria. Was it called Sellafield or something after that?
Right.
Yes.
So basically, this is heavily kind of trailed in the film that there's been rioting there, and Greenpeace have been marching from London to Cumbria, which is quite far, but they've made it in like a day. And then there's rioting there, right? So they pull all his wires out, but he's still alive. Gordon Jackson fills his pants. And then
he has the last line of dialogue, which is from hell.
Yes.
He kind of suggests that, somehow because of the psychic powers involved, killing him, his consciousness will exist beyond his physical body.
It's excellent. It's a great ending. I love the ending. I remember watching this as a kid and thinking, I really want a sequel just to see the big explosion in Sellafield.
Well, two quick things. When I was having a read about it is that number one, originally it was going to say that he was going to write down the name of the Trident submarine nuclear base, thus suggesting he was going to end the world by letting off a nuclear weapons, which would have been great and really nihilistic and dark.
Yes.
And then also on the IMDb page, it says that this film would not be released in South Africa because they would not endorse a film where the devil won, which I thought was incredible, bearing in mind the horrible conditions of apartheid in South Africa. Oh no, we can't possibly have pissed up Richard
Basically,
Burton
where the devil
blowing
was,
up a church.
Yeah, the devil was when. I thought the church bits were really excellent.
There's a lot of people killed. A lot of people killed in that church.
I love nothing more than seeing people playing prone bodies covered in blood with polystyrene
raining down on them.
Yes. It's incredible.
Did you watch the extras I sent you as well?
No.
That's the making of that scene.
I need to rewatch that part. I thought that bit was tremendous, and obviously it's very similar to
the Krypton being blown up in the beginning of Superman.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's very similar to the end of the Quatermass Experiment, which features a big stop-motion octopus being electrocuted. So what do we think, chaps?
Right, so the film has ended, and
the film has ended.
Okay, so I
after talking to you guys, I've now decided to give it a 28.
No, so if I'm honest, I did watch it several times, but fell asleep quite a few times. So I've tried to watch it in its entirety.
This is literally every film.
Yeah, I know. But
to be honest, I've watched every film of this.
I've had to watch it 5 times.
Yes.
Do you worry that you sleep too much, Cleve?
No, I only sleep watching these films.
But what kind of time of day are you falling asleep?
Oh, so I normally watch these on a weekend, probably around about 4 o'clock, something like that. But
in the afternoon?
Yeah. Just have a little...
And you're nodding off then?
Well, busy boy. Yes, sir.
I think you need to see a GP about your blood sugar or something.
Maybe, because I've fallen asleep at work a couple of times recently as well.
What, in the office or
in the office, and I did get cold.
Amazing. You fell asleep in the office.
Mm-hmm. It was quite warm, and I had a big katsu curry for lunch. So I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 5.
Whoa! God. You delirious.
It was just there was just too many dead ends that didn't go anywhere.
No,
and I felt like that the climax of the film, they should have all come together at the same time rather than it's a kind of ending and then going on a bit longer and
ending
and then just trying to convince people too many times to evacuate the church. They get rid of all, get them to come to that conclusion as the Queen is heading to the church. Make them trying to rush to get to the church in time, rather than him visiting it over 3 or 4 days.
Yes,
and just wandering around the graveyard and looking at things. But that's about it, really.
I mean, you're wrong, but okay. James,
4.
Oh, fucking hell!
Yes, right. Here you go. Here's the reasons for my scoring. Number 1, mark for Richard Burton. Burton is, as we said at the start, his absolute star quality is superb. He enlivens this film a great deal, and I wish that he hadn't been so pissed. And we would have had another hour of him.
Yeah.
Number 2, a mark for the most sophisticated editing and ambitious story I think we've had on a Witchfinders for ages.
Yes.
I said the shift through time and how they do that is very, very good.
Yeah.
Number 3, said, it adds to that wonderful milieu, that cultural milieu that we've had of The Omen, this, and just kind of 1970s Arthur C. Clarke Unexplained World. It feels like it's an important kind of chapter in that, and a really interesting part of that.
Prophecies of Doom.
And then also, I really loved that it was quite a dark and nihilistic ending as well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. And yeah, so I have to say I found, and I made a note, about 25 minutes in, I thought it was the most I've enjoyed watching one in ages.
Yeah, I totally agree, James.
So for me, it was a 4.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it an extra half a point because of the footage, the black and white footage of people doing psychic shit.
Yes.
That was good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. See, that was all good. And the cast alone, it said Michael Hordern. Just
What a
that
cast.
scene. That scene with him as the psychic.
Cast.
And I know we're always saying, and when we do our live thing, I'll probably mention this. It's our ongoing, repeated thing of if they made this again today, or if they remade this, if they turned this into a mini-series today and made it more of a whodunit thing, and really, really kind of strung out the whole, is it his powers, is it a coincidence? This would absolutely rip along. This brilliant.
Yeah, because if you make it more ambiguous, the whole thing, like, do we kill a man who's on life support?
Yes.
Or not? You know, is this going to...
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Redo it.
If they remade it today, I think they'd struggle to find a cast
as good. Yeah.
as stellar. You can't, how would you find a cast as stellar as this now? I can't.
see if Michael, if Reese wants to do it. Because he's been burnt.
Yeah. I will give this an easy 5. 5 is 5 the top? It is.
Yes. Well, you've given things like higher than 5 before.
Have I really? Have I?
So, do you want me to give me your highest scores of all time?
Give me the highest top 3.
Okay, so look. I love
The Road.
Yeah, okay, so look. John's scores. So
The Omen scored pretty high.
They gave them 5s. I'm just seeing if you give anything over 5. No, you've actually been restrained. You've given things like -10, -100 and things like that.
Yeah.
Now, your highest ones were 5s, which were...
this is a 5.
Okay.
I think for enjoyment. I think something like The Road clicks different boxes because it's so chilling and it stays with you as a kind of warning from the past about nuclear war and all that stuff. Yeah. This stays with you just because, for all of its shortcomings, it's just a tremendous romp through nonsense. Just nonsense. It's nonsense.
Like I didn't realize. I thought that we was going to do an hour on the people in it and like half an hour on the film because I didn't feel like a lot happened. When you go through it though, shitloads happens.
Loads. I think it's tremendous fun. It's like a series of mad Two Ronnies sketches where it's the Christmas Two Ronnies, and they've basically brought in everyone that's in the green room, and they're like, "Can you just do a scene?" And everyone says yes.
Maybe it had a few too many flashbacks. Maybe
no.
Okay.
I could watch 2 hours of this where it's like Richard Burton blows up the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Richard Burton blows up Concorde.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think of stuff at the time, what's the stuff at the time? It would be Concorde, wouldn't it? It would be, what else would be massive?
It'd be a football match disaster or something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. It's an exponential series of events where it's just like, oh, I'm going to now blow up. Like, it's a bit like with Superman film, is it? Where like Niagara Falls stops and like,
that's Superman 2. The start of Superman 2.
It's stops Niagara Falls. Lois Lane falls off of it.
Lois Lane throws herself off of Niagara Falls at the start of number 2 in order to try and get him to prove that he is
Superman. He freezes a lake in order to go over the top of a chemical factory.
That's Superman 3.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
I'm misremembering. Which is the one where there's a nuclear bomb in the Eiffel Tower?
Superman 2.
2.
Yeah.
Start of 2.
Mercy Superman.
It's that kind of stuff, isn't it? Where
Exactly.
you'd watch a film in those days and you'd be like, these are the places I recognize and I care about. Because now it would be like, he's like flooded Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be like, I don't give a fuck, really. I don't know where it is. I don't understand it. And it's full of British weirdos. Yeah, like that twat that's always on Question Time.
Well, I think you should maybe go and talk to Donald Trump because if I was like your understanding of the situation in the Middle East is better than his.
Situation.
I don't know where it is.
I don't know where it is, and I tell you what's more, I don't even care.
Okay, so that was the Medusa Touch.
Medusa Touch.
Next time on General Witchfinders is General Witchfinders Live.
Oh, fuck off.
What?
Yeah.
That's next time.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
We have got a live General Witchfinders event coming up in Dorchester on a Tuesday night, which everyone is going to be able to get to, of course, aren't they?
I enjoyed everyone going, I'd come to this if it was in London.
Yeah.
We were like,
is that what they said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So if this one goes well, maybe we'll do one in London or Cardiff.
Yes, we'd like that.
Where in London?
Anywhere.
BFI Park?
Yeah.
How are we going to record it, please?
We're all going to have little mics on. And my friend who does all the sound and visuals and stuff at the R&I is going to come along and be a little...
I've got a Tascam recorder.
Yeah, that as our backup. Yeah. So we have been invited by a bookshop called Tasel and Skylark. It's the bookshop in Dorchester who sell our zine, and they do events at a very nice hotel near where I live called the King's Arms or King's Head.
This is going amazingly well.
King's Head. And they, so I can edit in the correct one. And they've asked us.
It's also the hotel where Thomas Hardy wrote The Mayor of Casterbridge.
Yeah, and where the Beatles stayed at some point.
Did they really?
Yes. And they've asked us to go and do a talk about folk horror. So we are going to be doing a talk about folk horror and also launching issue 4 of our zine. By the time, so if you want to...
Were you just about to say Bonnie Tyler?
I was going to say, by the time that this comes out, but that won't be true. Soon after this coming out, there will be the 4th issue of our zine will be available on our website. So go and get that at generalwitchfinders.com, which I'm just about to proofing on tonight, and then be sent to print next week.
Hooray.
So, but if you want to come, if you can come to Dorchester on Tuesday
the 5th of May, 7 p.m.
Unfortunately, we have to sell tickets, but that's going towards the bookshop.
Why is that unfortunate?
Because I'll do it for free, but we're not getting any money for it. But the bookshop has in order to put
these bastards can pay,
put the event on. So tickets you can get them from our website. There's a link on our website as well, generalwitchfinders.com.
Yeah,
come along to that. Listen to us talk about folk horror, talk about some of the films we watched which are folk horror related, and hear some of the stories out of our new zine, and come and meet the gang.
But don't touch me in any way.
And there will be some music as well from my friends who are going to do some music for us.
My something horrific this week is the revelation. I'm currently reading the biography of British singer-songwriter Sandy Denny, who was in Fairport Convention in the 1970s and released a few solo albums of her own. An incredible singer-songwriter. I found out reading the book that the guy that arranged her string section was the guy who in later years wrote a lot of music for Hammer horror films, including Twins of Evil.
Oh, yes.
Which absolutely blew my mind. And I couldn't understand or grasp going from Twins of Evil to doing the strings for some of Sandy Denny's music. But I suggest a lot of you out there listen to Sandy Denny's albums, particularly for this podcast, the first one, which I think does have a very slight kind of folk horror overtone, especially in the cover, where she's in an apothecary's kind of shop room. So yeah, that's my something horrific, but something horrific.
Lovely. And I should say, if for some reason the recording of the live podcast doesn't work out, or it's shit, and we don't end up putting it up, the next film we're going to be covering is The Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, which is just about to get its Blu-ray released by Hammer. So I've got that pre-ordered, so that'll be coming through as well. So everyone's going to have a lovely clean print of that to look at as well.
Featuring one of my favourite ladies of all time, Valerie Leon.
There we go. So much to look forward to in May. It's a bumper for General Witchfinders. Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Hopefully, I will get this edited down to less than 2 hours, and hopefully it will make some kind of sense.
Help you, please.
Yeah.
I would put it in unexpurgated and just take out the bits where we talk about dodgy stuff.
Okay. All right, everyone.
Love, light, and peace.
Thank you for always as listening, everybody. Yes. Hope you've enjoyed that.
Okay.
And we're nearly at episode 70 when I predict that one of us will die.
Yeah, and also we're almost at 100,000 downloads as well. So hopefully they might coincide. Okay. Until then, happy day.
You have been listening to the General Witchfinders. Support the show and continue the conversation at patreon.com/General Witchfinders. Subscribe and spread the word at generalwitchfinders.com. Farewell, and don't have nightmares.
AI is transforming customer service. It's real and it works. And with Finn, we've built the #1 AI agent for customer service. We're seeing lots of cases where it's solving up to 90% of real queries for real businesses. This includes the real-world complex stuff like issuing a refund or cancelling an order. And we also see it when Finn goes up against competitors. It's top of all the performance benchmarks, top of the G2 leaderboard, and if you're not happy, we'll refund you up to $1 million, which I think says it all. Check it out for yourself at fin.ai.
So I thought this film was one of the best films we've watched.
Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts.
Fucking loved it. I thought it was tremendous. I watched it all tonight. I haven't even got very many notes just because I was enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's get into it.
I was like, this is a
film.
A finely oiled machine.
It sits in beautifully with so many of the things that we've discussed on Witchfinders. Obviously, we'll get into it properly in a second, but when I think about things like The Omen and things like that, it felt to me like a sister movie to The Omen.
It's massively Omen, obviously down to the fact that some of the same people are in it.
We're in it, yeah.
And also there's big chunks of Quatermass in it with obviously with the TV broadcast from the church.
Go. Let's start properly.
All right, okay.
Well, we have started.
No, this is not the...
We got to do the introduction.
This is recording. I ain't seen a button.
Don't mess with the format.
I'm putting my fan back on because it's like a bloody oven in here.
You got to put a bit of fairy dust on the bastards.
Is that Lee Mavers?
No, that's the Trogs tapes. The Trogs were there arguing, and that's. Black Grape sampled it as well.
Yes.
At some point, you got to put a bit of fairy dust on the bastard.
Oh, I thought it was Lee Mavers when he would only record stuff from Abbey Road that had Abbey Road dust on the valves.
It is. Whether you think so or not, that is a #1. And if that bastard don't go, then I'll fucking retire. I fucking do.
I think it is a good song. I agree, it is a good song.
But it fucking won't be unless we spend a little bit of fucking thought and imagination to fucking make it fucking #1. You gotta put a little bit of fucking fairy dust over the bastard,
We'll put some fairy dust over it. I'll piss over the tape.
You know what I mean? It's I don't know what it needs then, but I know that it needs...
I know that it needs strings. I do know.
Right. And it needs something at the beginning of that number to make somebody remember it.
While we were arguing here, we could be trying to get some sound out there. We're trying to get something right. So what do you suggest we do then? Give it up for the night?
No, not at all. I don't say give it up. I'll stay here till tomorrow night.
Well, then what's wrong?
Just provided we get something going.
We will.
Get something going.
We will.
Trying different things.
But it's... that what he was playing, agreed. The sound is
listen,
fucking pony.
we got about
and it ain't what we want.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 producers in here tonight.
We haven't got 6 producers.
Yes, we have. If we had one producer here tonight, we'd get it right. Or he would get it the way he thinks he should be. But because we haven't got a producer, we're all fucking pitching in ideas.
Yeah, well, we always do
most
that.
of them are wrong, you know.
Not necessarily. They're not
most of them
necessarily
are
wrong.
But we're trying. And it makes his life fucking hell. We had one producer that's talking great. But we haven't got a producer. We were supposed to have a fucking producer. But we haven't got one.
Yeah.
So
this is what he's been going fucking wrong. You've got to have a fucking bloke that says, I've got a fucking sound in here that's fucking great. Come in here and have a fucking listen to it. And you come in here and it's probably a different fucking tune nearly. But if it's fucking good, yeah, that's it. But when we
But what would you have said if the producer would have been here and he would have left it exactly as it is, as you've got it now?
What producer would do that?
I don't know. It might be. You don't know. He might say keep it like that and put whatever else, strings or whatever.
We wouldn't have signed a contract with him in the first place.
Who?
Any producer.
You don't have to sign a contract with him.
Right.
You don't have to sign a contract with a producer to have a record produced.
And we thank you and good night if he left it the way it is now.
Ah, you see, then you'd argue with him.
Yeah. But no
there you
producer
are.
would leave it like that.
You don't know.
No.
No producer would
You know, he might say we'll put other things on it. We'll overdub, we'll put strings on it or brass or whatever his idea on or a fucking wobble board, I don't know.
Yeah.
But would you agree to that?
Well, for a fucking start, I don't suppose he'd even...
Oh yeah, sure. But would you agree? Would you have a producer sit here and say,
half an hour,
that's
I'd
it?
either have faith in the
That is
canter or I
what we
wouldn't.
want. That is what we need. Because you can see the way we're going on. We need a producer to say, no, you're not doing that, you're fucking doing this. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you'd wear it.
We would.
We would. If we had faith in him, and we'd know whether we had faith in him within the first fucking half an hour.
Did you do exactly what Larry Page said?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how they had hit records.
Because there was just one fucking mind on it.
Until we had that
Not
fucking
fucking
big
7 or 8.
We didn't even fucking get a say in it. It was fucking wham, it was in the can. Regardless, you reckon that was bad? Fuck me, he is the... one take, that's it. Finish. We said, you never had a fucking say, and it was out. As weak and fucking insipid you used to think, well, fucking hell.
We thought with a girl like you was fucking terrible. And we said, let's go in and do it again. And that was the only fucking time he let us fucking...
Have our way.
And could we get anything fucking better?
No.
Fucking... The first thing he fucking did.
All fucking day.
Was
we were
it?
in there at 9 o'clock, and we didn't come out until fucking like 3 o'clock the next fucking morning. And they had Mick Jagger, you name them, they were fucking in there to try and make it better.
Anyway,
and they
Chris is
couldn't.
sitting out there wondering what he's going to do. Now, what are we going to do?
No one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. Few men even consider the possibility of life on other planets. And yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regard this earth with envious eyes. And slowly and surely, they drew their plans together.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And a very good evening and welcome once again to Telly Addicts. And the reason why I was stroking the cat and giving it a bowl of milk there is that the cat is expecting kittens. Isn't that good news? And of course the cat is a great fan of all TV programs, Muse Night, Happy Ever After. Whiskers World. Well, they're having kittens anyway, because this is going to be quite a battle tonight. This could be the battle of this Teleaddict season.
There's a knock-down here. The French are me.